Alright, what's up YouTube? Today I'm going to be doing a video somewhat unboxing the Pure XL because it's already opened, and be doing a review of the phone itself. So let's get into it. So this is the box it comes in. I got the gray version. So you pick this up on Amazon for like $450 Canadian. I think in the US it comes up to like $350. So let's go over some of the features on the back of the phone. So you got a 6-inch Quad HD AMOLED display. This display is made by Samsung, so it is pretty decent display considering. You got a 2560 by 1440 resolution display, and that's 490 ppi. The front of the phone has super strong Corning Gorilla Glass 3. It's got a octa-core processor by MediaTek. I believe it's the Helio X10 or something. 64-bit CPU. Is running Android 5.1 right now. I've been reading online. A couple of people have been saying that it should be getting an update to Marshmallow, but that's not 100% confirmed yet. In Canada, over here, it's unlocked phone, obviously, so it supports LTE speeds. It's a back camera is 24 megapixel, front camera is 8 megapixel. What's sick about this phone is it's got 64 gigs internal storage. Plus 3 gigs of RAM, and that also comes with micro SD expansion, so I believe it's up to 128 gigs extra that you can pop into the phone. It's also got a fingerprint, 3500 milliamp battery with quick charge. The quick charge, it only works with the blue charger that came with. I've been trying it with my other wall adapters, and it doesn't seem to work with them. It's only with the blue adapter. And it is a somewhat thin phone considering the size. It's 9.6 millimeter thin aluminum body. So if you open the box up, the phone would be in here, so that's what it would look like sitting inside the box. Let's pop that aside for now. Inside the box, you got actually with blue, they always give you cases and screen protector. So with this one, you actually get like a somewhat S-View case. It's pretty nice plastic, but it's got it kind of looks metallic almost, but this color sometimes, I guess in different lighting, you can see it kind of shows fingerprints and smudges. And you also got a cheapish TPU gel case. This is the one I rock most, just simply because the S-View case is kind of it's a bit of a nuisance, I'd say, opening it and closing it, especially if I'm using the phone often, which I am. It's empty, but I believe this had the wire in it. This is books, SIM SIM installation guide, whatnot. Quick guide. Comes with headphones. Came with the wire, obviously, and the wall adapter, but I don't got those in the box right now. Just pack that aside. All right, so here's the phone. All right, it's pretty massive. I mean, it is a 6-inch screen. For me, though, I don't really care much about the size because I'm not using my phone for phone calls. It's mostly for media and like text messages. So I'm just booting this thing up, and let's see. I'm pretty sure it's 100% charged. Alright, so you got your typical blue boot up screen, nothing special. Alright, so while this thing's booting up, we'll just take a look at the back of the phone rather than sitting in silence, right? So this back phone is the same material as the flip case over here. So basically this goes on, you take the back cover off and you stick this case on. Here's your fingerprint sensor, your 24 megapixel camera. You got a dual LED flash. I believe these 4 dots up here are a microphone, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Down here you got dual speakers. Although it is facing the back, they do sound half decent considering. Your headphone jack up top. You got a volume rocker here, power button here. You got your camera shutter. It's two touch, I guess. So I guess a half press is kind of to focus the picture, and then a full press is to actually take the shot. Down here you got another microphone. You got your micro USB charging port. On the left side you got nothing. Now I've taken the back cover off, which is kind of a bit of a pain. Alright, so you got your 3500 milliamp hour battery here. It's non-removable. If you do unscrew this, I believe it voids your warranty. So you got dual SIM slots here as well. So you could put one SIM card in here, have a second one if you're traveling internationally, and just swap between the phone numbers. You got your micro SD expansion up here. Your dual speakers are down here. That's pretty much it. And for the back of the inside of the phone, sorry, there's not much going on in there. Let's just snap this all together. All right, so getting into the phone. Don't really care if you guys know my password or not. Don't think anyone's gonna be getting my phone. Here it is. So yeah, you got a 6-inch massive screen. I mean, considering the price, again, $450 makes kind of sound steep, but compared to other flagships, I would say this one's pretty sick. Considering, you know, you take a look at the Note 5, that's like running you almost $1,000 for, you know, obviously the Note 5 has better build quality, better specs overall, but you know, that's the kind of compromise you're making here. So if you get into the phone, the fingerprint scanner works like pretty accurate. Haven't had any issues. I've read a couple reviews on, you know, the phone not, you know, the fingerprint scanner not working when the screen was on and you had to turn the screen off and whatnot, but I got a couple updates with the phone, so that doesn't seem to be an issue for me right now. Haven't had any other issues in terms of fingerprint scanner. It's pretty accurate. I think maybe out of every 10 times the fingerprint scanner works 8, so it's a pretty decent fingerprint scanner on there. I've already set the phone up, obviously. I've been using it for probably about, honestly, maybe 4 weeks, almost a month, and it's pretty sick phone overall. I mean, for the price you're paying, $450, you know, you're getting a quad HD display, which looks absolutely great because it's, you know, it's a Samsung made AMOLED display, and you know, I guess the kind of that's like the selling point of the phone. Jeez, I got a like hair up here or something that's really bugging the shit out of me. All right, screw it. We're gonna go on without worrying about that. So yeah, I mean, using the phone, it's super smooth. I haven't had any issues in terms of performance. The stock launcher that it comes with is it's Blu's launcher, so it's pretty much stock Android launcher, but it's got like a couple different, no, I was gonna say features. I guess the design's not exactly the same as the Google launcher. If you pop into the settings, you got all kinds of settings in here. You know, pretty similar, I mean, to stock Android. You got a couple different advanced settings and whatnot in here. In terms of layout, it's the same as a stock Android phone. If I pop over my HTC right now, so same sort of deal. You got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, data, etc. You know, the usual stuff. And while the HTC's out, we'll just do a size comparison here, right? So you can see that the Blu phone is massive, right? This HTC, it almost fits in the screen of the phone, which is pretty sick, for me anyway, because I'm doing a lot of YouTube. And if you want to compare it to my obsolete BlackBerry, then this definitely sits inside the screen. But yeah, I mean, overall, the phone is really sick. We can take a look at the camera. I'll just take a picture here. Alright, so camera takes decent pictures. Waiting for that to focus up. You know, 24 megapixel, you get extremely, you know, massive zoom. But, you know, it's not the best. I have seen on the Note 5 and S6 that those cameras, obviously the best cameras on the market right now for any smartphone. But you got to remember that you're paying, you know, almost half the price you would be for, you know, for that phone. So if you pop into this at the auto show, I actually took some pictures. If we look at these, like, you know, in decent lighting, this camera is like, honestly, any camera would be really great, but you know, it's really sick. Zoom, you don't lose much quality on the zoom either. So I mean, you can't complain in that department. And the camera shoots 4K video. I can give you a little have a 4K video shot here. That's when we went out. So I mean, may not turn out on the video, but I mean the vid, it's super smooth because it's got optical image stabilization, right? So the video is not shaking at all. And it does shoot in 30 frames a second, but I mean, you can't really notice the difference between 30 and 60 on the phone. Um, so yeah, and then also, you know, in terms of battery life, I don't have any stats here, but I mean, I'd be getting my normal day. Let's say I got work 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, I work at 9 and come home at 5. I'll be at like 60%. That depends how much I'm using the phone, right? If I'm on the phone, YouTube, music, whatnot, it'll be lower, maybe around 50, 45%. So the battery, I mean, considering it's 3500 milliamp hour, it's not great. Is it 3500? Yeah, it is 3500 milliamp hours. So, I mean, considering it's got this big ass battery, it's not that, the performance on it isn't that great. Um, you will still get like an average of maybe like 3.5 hours of screen on time. Obviously, it depends. If you're running it on full brightness, then you know obviously you're gonna get less. But I'm usually on. I have it on auto brightness. I try and keep it somewhat in the middle. So yeah, you get maybe like 3.5 hours screen on time, and that's kind of comparable to my HTC, right? And that you know I get about 3.5 hours, maybe a little bit more depending on my usage. Um, so you can go check like YouTube. I'll show you the video. I guess playback. I don't know. For some reason I find. Um, let's check this. Let's do a 4K video. Bump it up to 2K and let's see. So I mean, like the screen's like super crisp. So I have no issues with the screen itself. I mean, and I find I don't know if it's software related, um, but I find when I'm watching videos, even on the stock video player, I'll pull up a movie just to show you. When I'm watching like a movie, I find that it's almost like the phone's running at 240 hertz, but not exactly. Um, so if I'm watching Transformers here, I'll pull up a sample of it. Right. I mean, I'm not sure if it's turning out on the video, but you know, in person, this is so smooth. It almost looks fake, right? Um, so I mean, I don't have any complaints in terms of the screen, and you know, as I said before, software is great. I have no stutters or anything. Um, Let me pull up, see if I can get some non-copyright music on here and see what the speakers sound like. I mean, consider again, you gotta keep in mind that this is a $450 smartphone, right? So there's gonna be compromises. You know, it's not gonna be the greatest smartphone in the world. It's not gonna be, you know, top end. But again, for 450 bucks, you know, let's say if I'm paying 450 bucks for this thing, in Canada, I can pick up the OnePlus 2 for 450 bucks, and to be honest, I'd take this over that, you know, with my eyes shut. There's no like question on that. So let's pull up a music video here. So speakers are on the back. They sound pretty decent. They get really loud. They're not. There's not so much bass. Let's get full volume. Alright, so I mean, like, I don't know, again, it's not gonna come through on the video, but in person it gets extremely loud. Like, the speaker is one of the loudest that I've heard, but in terms of, I guess, fullness, in terms of, you know, bass, mids, and highs, it's kind of lacking in the bass. I would say, like, if I pull out my HTC, let's pull up the same video, non-copyrighted music. That's not it. Let's pull up the same song. So I'm not sure if it's gonna show in the video, but in person you can tell that it's not as loud on the HTC, but the speakers on the HTC have a more full sound range. So let's play this and see. Alright, so let me pause that. We'll go back to the Blue and let's do a little comparison over here, right? So, right away I can tell that the Blue, the speakers on it, honestly, compared to the HTC, I wouldn't say they're trash, but I mean, I'd say that they're definitely not as good or anywhere close to the HTC, right? But I mean, again, for 450 bucks, I mean, when this thing came out new, it was what, like 700 bucks in Canada, and I mean, obviously you're paying 700 bucks, you're gonna get the premium build, premium quality and everything in terms of screens, audio, cameras. Well, I mean, camera not so much, it's a 4 megapixel, but I mean, you get what I'm saying, right? Is in terms of music wise, it's extremely, loud on the Blue, but it's not like, you don't get the bass, right? So I mean, if I'm gonna go for a run, let's say, or a walk around the block, and I need music on my phone, I'm gonna take this out with me, right? Because it's loud. I don't care much about hearing bass when I'm outside, when there's cars going past, and you can hear people outside, right? But if I'm sitting at home and I'm gonna be watching a movie or whatever, I'm gonna pull out my HTC front firing speakers, stereo speakers. It's gonna sound that much greater on that. But I mean, yeah, again for 450 bucks, can't even complain. I mean, let's pull up the game and see what the performance is like. Obviously it's not a very graphic intensive game, but we're gonna see what's up. To be honest, I've never played this game before. It's been sitting on this thing since I had the phone and I never pulled it out. Alright. So just want to see how this thing performs in terms of graphics and gaming and whatnot. I mean, for me, I don't do any gaming on my phone, to be honest. I downloaded this and I just haven't played it at all in God knows how long, right? So, and I mean, this isn't, any kind of graphic intensive game, but right off the bat, it's running super smooth. It looks great on this big ass screen. It's like playing it on a tablet, but not really. So yeah, I mean, no issues with this at all. It runs smooth, runs great. So totally wiped out there. Right, so I mean, gaming, again, no issues, but I mean, I feel like, I did run an N22 benchmark on here. I don't think it scored all that great, to be honest. Pulled up the wrong one, let's check. But again, it's because it is running a MediaTek processor. I don't even think it's been scored. But if I'm not mistaken, it scored just over the G4 and just under the Nexus 6, right? But again, compared to let's say the Huawei Mate 8, right? It's got 93,000 score almost. So, but again, you're looking at the price, 450 bucks. For me, it's a sick deal. I mean, it depends on your usage, right? If you're gonna be playing around on the phone, video games, watching a ton of videos and stuff, heavy CPU usage, you're gonna definitely find stutters and glitches here and there. But I mean, again, 450 bucks. You keep saying that. I mean, if you had a dime for the amount of times it's 450 bucks in this video, you'd be rich, right? So, yeah, I mean, let's pull up turbo dismount, and we'll see how this runs. So I do notice right now games take a little bit longer to play. Sorry, not to play, but to load. Um, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. But yeah, I mean, in terms of responsiveness, it's pretty responsive. I haven't there's not any sort of lag or delays or anything, but I mean, there's not much going on in this game right now. Um, so yeah, I mean, with 3 gigs of RAM as well, if I had all those games open, they'd be still running in the background if I left it and went back into it later on. Um, so yeah, I mean, in terms of the phone software and the way the phone works, it's great. I have no complaints about that. I've got no issues with the screen. Speakers, yeah, they could be a little bit better on the bass side, but what can you do for 300, 450 bucks? Um, Not complaining about that. So I mean, there are things you got to compromise on here. Like I said, the speaker. The front camera. Um, it's not all that great. So let's load it up. Yeah, you got my pink hair over here. So we're gonna take a picture of this Q10 box here. Um, it's supposed to be an 8 megapixel camera, but it's not that. I've seen better front-facing cameras. Um, So it's not a big deal, front-facing camera again. It's got decent quality pictures. Keep in mind, I'm shooting in pretty crap light, indoors. Um, but yeah, if you look at this picture, this is from the auto show. Lighting was great, shot with the front camera. The picture turned out really good. Um, I've got no complaints on the camera in terms of that. I mean, for me, my camera usage is literally take pictures of a nice car I see on the road. So lighting's going to be optimal no matter what. But in low light, yeah, definitely you do see a hit in quality in terms of your photos and whatnot. Um, just trying to think what else. I mean, build quality wise, kind of went over it. You got the plastic back. You do have the chamfered edges, aluminum body. Thing with the chamfered edges is that if you run them without a case, you'll find that you start getting little nicks and whatnot along the edges. I do have small. God, it's that bloody hair again bothering me. I do have small, like very fine nicks along the side, but when I wasn't using with a case, so it's not that big of a deal, to be honest. They do provide you with 2 cases, so that's on me. What else? You got pretty much it. I mean, the camera button can be used as a shortcut if you hold it down. Loads up the camera right away. If I use the camera button to take the picture, so I can hold it. We'll take a picture of that GTR over there. Right? So you got a super fast shutter speed, fingerprint scanner, fast as heck is obviously. So, again, not in great lighting, but considering that it isn't, you can see the dust particles and, on the car because that hasn't been cleaned in probably weeks, but you know how I roll. So yeah, I mean, that's the phone for 480 bucks or 450 bucks. I can't complain about missing the bass on the speakers. The plastic back. I can live with that, right? It comes with cases. It's gonna get my HTC when I'm out. This metal body doesn't mean anything because it's either gonna be in a case or I'll pick up a wrap for it and stick it in a wrap, right? So yeah, I mean, Blu's come a long way. Their phones used to suck. I used to have a Studio C, and it was okay. For again, you got to look at the price compared to what you're getting. Just head up on Amazon. I'll show you the site. But yeah, I mean, for what is it? The Studio C was like 130 bucks or something. Yeah. You're not gonna get great specs. You're not gonna get great performance. You're not gonna get a sick phone by any. It's more of a backup phone, let's say. So yeah, here's the phone. You can pick it up for 454 bucks, right? And if you got Prime, it'll be there in like 2-3 days. Right now it's out of stock actually. If you look, and usually ship in 1 to 2 months, but it's always in. It comes back in stock and it'll be there. So yeah, I mean, for the price. Let's look up, Note 5, let's say. So you're looking at Note 5, it's 800 bucks, It's 32 gig, you know. So I mean, yeah, you know, you're paying for the Samsung brand and whatnot, but you know, what can you do, right? That's the way it is. So the thing that's sort of like about Blue products, you know, you're paying for the phone, right? Not the brand name or the name of the phone, whatever. So I mean, that's pretty much it. I'll leave the description or the link to buy the phone in the description. But you know, if you want to pick it up, honestly, from, you know, someone who uses a phone kind of every day, pretty heavy usage, this is a sick phone right here. Oh yeah, just showing another feature that you probably got to double tap to wake, right? So you know, again, $450 if you're looking for a phone that's massive, it'll turn heads when you pull it out for sure, right? Because like, you know, most people don't know, you know, blue, who's blue. So for me, that's kind of a sick factor. You know, you pull this thing out at dinner, you stick it on the table, and it's just this big phone sitting there, and you know, people are like, oh, what's that? You know, you pull it out, unlock it with your fingerprint, and you know, and you know, and then you show them all the features and whatnot. You go through a quick run through like we did here, and they ask you, oh, how much was it? You know, because like if I pick this thing up and you know, if one of my buddies came and said, yo, check out my new phone, and I picked this up, I'd think it's like $500-600 easy, right? You tell them, you know, it's got a $450 price tag, and you know, it'll blow their mind, and it blew my mind. You know, it's amazing how much you can get for $450. And you know, I'm starting to rant now, so I'm gonna cut this video to an end. Thanks for watching. If you're watching, feel free to leave a comment if I missed anything. If you want me to do, you know, after 2 months or 3 months review on the phone, see how it's holding up, just leave a comment down below. Feel free to like and subscribe to the like the video, subscribe to the channel. That'd be much appreciated. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.